Okay, hey Fandom, welcome back. I am your host, Jeff Haseley. I'm joined by Tom and Brittany Schmidt, and we've got special guest Aaron Chase, the Superfan, that we're going to introduce you to in just a few moments.
Christian McCaffrey, the open field, inside the 30, inside the 20, McCaffrey touchdown.
And we are back, Fandom. Thanks again for joining us. And just real quick, if you like the show, please give us a like and subscribe. We appreciate your support.
And
Definitely. Yes, you see it on the screen there. Do that for us. And we are excited to introduce you to Aaron Chase Jr. He is our super fan. Hopefully you've seen some of the stuff that he's tweeted. He's a real popular fan amongst people. He loves to share his thoughts, opinions about the game, as well as the fans. He shares us what he does in the. I guess you've got season tickets. Is that right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
first year season ticket holder.
Exactly. So we're always seeing his pictures from that. So we wanted to introduce you here to Aaron. We wanted to meet him ourselves. Aaron, man, it's nice to have you on the show. We appreciate it. Can you just your name there is at the bottom there. That's your Twitter handle as well. Is that right?
Yep, that's my Twitter handle, my Instagram handle. That's where you can find me everywhere, y'all. I made it like that so that y'all can find me real easily. You know who I am. And so that when I become popular, like I'm starting to get right now because of y'all fans out there, it'll be easy to find me. Nobody else got my name like me.
There you go. Brittany, now you've met Aaron in person, right?
Yes.
What's it like hanging with Aaron?
It's actually really cool. I mean, we only hung out briefly. We were at Hype Man Lucci's little after party tailgate. It was really hot. And I was waiting for a bottle of water. Unfortunately, had to buy food to get the water, so I had to cut out because I was really dehydrated. But someone tapped me on the back, and he's like, "Are you Brittany from Twitter, Schmidt?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." And of course, he showed me we'd messaged each other back and forth because we're both not originally from Charlotte. You're from Baltimore, correct? And I'm from New Jersey. So I always feel like, I mean, I love all the fan base, as I call us, but I have a very special bond with people that, found the team from other states, by default, you think you would go one way, but then when you end up finding, common ground and you both fall in love with a team and you grew up in two totally different states. I mean, I always find the people that fell in love with the Panthers that didn't grow up around here, like especially fascinating because that was like me. And I was one of 3 people in my school district and I'm actually shocked that I had 3 people. That like the Panthers, it was me, this kid a grade ahead of me named Brian Ramoser, and then a kid in my grade who literally picked the Panthers because he didn't have an NFL football team. He put like all 32 teams in a hat and drew the Panthers, and he stuck with them to his credit. But, I was one of 3 people who rooted for the Panthers. So when I see people, it's so exciting. So of course I gave you a big hug. I was sweaty. I'm sorry, but I of course I hugged you because that's just how I am. Now segueing into when we met. Now I saw the picture after I left. I'm a little upset I didn't just pass out in Brian Burns' arms because he showed up. Tell me with that experience, walk me through that experience. I saw the picture on Twitter. I was super pumped for you. Tell us what that experience was like. Like, what words did you have with him? Like, were you starstruck? I want to hear it.
The funny part is a lot of people ask me the same thing, so I'm glad I'm displaying it right here on this platform. So what happened was right after the game, right after the Sweet Caroline was playing, I left the game and because I was actually parked over there at the tailgate because I was helping them out that morning. And I happened to go back there, and just like how you said, I wanted some water, but they had no more water left. So one of Lucci's guys told me about the spot next door that had some water. So I walk over there, and then by the time I come over, I see Burns with everybody else.
Oh my gosh.
And the funny part is, earlier that morning, I seen his mother, and I took a picture with his
Oh
mother.
yes, I love her.
So I had to I was like, I can't miss upon this opportunity. I got to get a picture with Mama B. And then when he was there, I was like, I told Michael True, who's also one of Lucci's guys, his graphic designer. That's the one that creates all Brian Burns merch for out there. If anybody wants some of that.
Yeah,
And he was like, oh yeah, man, you got to get a picture with him. And I was kind of starstruck at the moment because I'm like, I never thought that I would meet a player at a tailgate. But then I was like, at the same time, this is Brian Burns' brother, so it makes sense. And I just kind of went up to him and I was like, what's up, Brian? Gave him a dap. And I was like, man, I got to get a picture with you. Is that okay? And he was like, yeah, sure. And we both took the pics together. I wish I would have said, what's up, Captain? How I feel right now to be a captain right now.
But you don't think when you're so starstruck, the same. But and it's funny that you mentioned that too. Like you wouldn't expect to see a player hanging out at a tailgate, but that's just the Burns family. I feel like that family, and I can't say enough wonderful things about them. They're very interactive with the fans. They very much appreciate and have embraced the community of Charlotte. I mean, Stanley Lucci played for us years ago, and we had him on the show. And I mean, it was just such a great experience having him on the show. Right, Jeff?
Plus he lives in Florida too.
Yep. Yeah.
So he comes up to Charlotte. He went to Houston. Yeah. I mean, it's whatever, he's all in.
Yeah,
all in. I love the story that he shared with us too about Brian being like a scrawny ninth grader, and
because you just can't picture Brian scrawny.
No.
Oh, no.
Never.
No. So, hey, Aaron, I've got a question for you. You said you grew up in Baltimore. I assume you were a Ravens fan, correct? Right? Ray Lewis? No, nothing like that. How in the world did you not like the Ravens living in Baltimore? And this 2-part question. How did you become a Panthers fan that you are now?
Okay, so majority of my family are Ravens fans, as you would expect. Both my grandmothers, huge Ravens fans. Every time growing up, the Ravens would play, I would talk trash about them, and both my grandmothers would be like, you can get kicked out of my house if you keep talking trash about my Ravens.
Oh, no.
And tell them, like, I don't care. But it's actually pretty funny why I'm not a Ravens fan. It's mainly because, God rest his soul, RIP to Steve McNair, the great Tennessee Titans legend. But at the back end of his career, he was playing with the Ravens. And when I first laid my eyes on football, and a lot of people don't know, like, football is really my second favorite, but it's kind of starting to become like a tie with basketball, mainly because of all the great fans that I met and the experiences that I've gained by being a Panthers fan. And like once I first laid my eyes on football, it's like all I seen was interception, sack. It was like he pretty much sucked. So I was like, oh no, I can't be a fan of this. Can't be a fan of no Ravens. Plus I was always different. I never really wanted to be the same thing that everybody else was. So when I seen that all my family was fans of that, I was like, nah, I gotta be different. And the funny part is, like growing up, I was really a Steelers fan because of my father. He was a Steelers fan. I was like, you know what? I want to be opposite of the Ravens. I love my father. You know what? Let me be a Steelers fan with him. So growing up, me and him had them connections of watching us playing the Ravens, playing the Patriots, and I hate both of them teams with all my heart. Yeah. And that's kind of good because the Panthers, we had problems with all three of them teams anyway. So I don't like none of them teams anyway anymore. Me and my father, we get at it nowadays. And as far as becoming a Panthers fan, and then shout out to Joan on Twitter. Everybody who knows you, y'all know Joan on Twitter if you on Twitter.
Yeah. And I got to meet Joan and hang out with her a few times.
Yeah, great woman.
All I know is her name and her presence on Twitter. I haven't met her. I couldn't pick her out in a crowd, which I'm sorry to say. Hopefully that changes. But she seems like she's a really cool fan.
I'm gonna tell you, she gonna get you.
Uh-oh.
She gonna get you.
Sorry, Joan.
Like she even tweeted out like, oh yeah, I shot it out and had to shout Aaron out from a car, from the passenger seat of a car. That's how I had to meet him and get his attention on a joke that she was putting out there. Cause Allie, I don't know if you met Allie neither, but like I met Allie as well. Cause every time I was at a game or wherever Panthers practice or whatever, she was there too, but we can never meet. Like, we could never meet. She was like either behind me, in front of me. It was like, we couldn't meet.
So
and then she was like, oh yeah, I can shout you out from a car and da-da-da. That's how she was telling all these Panthers fans that they got to meet me.
So what is your typical game day like? I guess we'll start with the home games first, right? Because you've got the tickets. Do you have a certain tailgate that you always do that you have? Or you got food that you always bring? What's the home game scenario situation like for you?
So the home game situation for me, and because this is new to me, this is my first year as a season ticket holder, because actually my first game that I ever attended in person was 2019 week 2 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh.
The last game we got to see Cam and Luke together and Ron Rivera's last year as well. Like all them the last year. And actually Burns' rookie year, Lucci, when he got that sack. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is all pretty new for me. But like I experienced the Roaring Riot tailgate. And I experienced the tailgating with Lucci, with Hype Man. So those are mainly the main 2 tailgates that I go to. But I love eating some great breakfast in the morning, specifically Bojangles. If you're a Panthers fan, you know all about that. So that should be no surprise to you.
Shout out to Jake Delhomme somewhere. Jake Delhomme.
And Steve Smith.
And Steve Smith.
Yeah, all the greats. That should be no surprise right there. I love eating some great breakfast. And I go to the tailgate, chill with some people that I know. Shout out to all the Panthers fans out there. We always meet up with each other. And then that's when I go strolling into the game. If we have a 1 p.m. game, which is all we experienced so far, I mainly try to get in the stadium by like 12 o'clock so that I can meet some fans before the game. And I made sure once the regular season started, I don't want to miss no introductions, because before that, I always miss part of the introductions no matter what. All because me trying to be late, trying to find a parking spot, little stuff like that. I realized, what the game is, you got to be there early. You got to be.
I made a rookie move because this was the first, home game I went to against the Jets. And it's funny that you said you always wanted to be different, because my father tried. I've talked about this several times on the show. But my father really, really tried to make me a Jets fan, but I wasn't taking part in that misery. But my brother is a Jets fan, so he did get one of us, but not me, thankfully. But I went and I ended up having trouble finding parking, and I missed the good stuff. So now I know I got to get up early and get there earlier. And I definitely, because this is my first year too, so I definitely made a rookie mistake.
Yeah, we both did. You
learn. You find your parking lot and you go there and you get used to it. It'll work.
Oh yeah.
What's that, Tom?
Where's your tickets at? Like, what's your section?
So my section is section 117. That's where behind you got the city background behind you. Yeah. I'm still down in the lower bowl. You can't even see the city behind you. And I'm opposite from the away team tunnel that they come in and out of. And I'm on the away team side is on my right side. So I'm all over there with away team fans. That's why if you ever see me on Twitter, you always see me posting the video.
About to bring that up. You're like saying, all right, that's it. Out.
Oh, yeah. Get out of my stadium. I don't want to see all them other colors. I want to see black and blue in there. Forget them other colors. All the colors.
We got to change the culture.
Definitely. That's what a lot of people tweeted out to me too once I told them I'm a season ticket holder.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had a big thing of Jets fans, like in the section we were sitting, and the guy in front of us just kept pointing to the scoreboard, or when the Jets had the front, he was like,
yeah.
Like, where are you now?
Oh my God, that guy was great.
He was.
He really was. Definitely. I think that it's awesome that you have those tickets, and I love those videos, and I love how you mentioned before, like, the Riot tailgate and the Lucci tailgate. I think that both are so awesome, and I want to take this opportunity to say that I think as a fan base, it's okay for us to branch out and be both. It's okay to be Riot and to be, Hype Man fan club, because I think what each element brings to this fan base is what makes this fan base truly special. And, families support one another. So if we're a family, we got to really lock in and say, hey, I see you doing a good thing. Good job. And hey, I see you doing good for the community. Good job. I think that, instead of feeling like you got to be one or the other. And I love that you mentioned both, because, I'm a both. I am a proud Riot. You know,
Yeah, you got the shirt on right there.
I am the uproar. We are the uproar, and I also have a Hype Man fan club T-shirt in my closet. So
Oh yeah, I got both.
I think it's important for fans to hear that there are people like you and I that love both. And I mean, I think the message that Lucci's spreading and also the good that the Riot does for the community are both really awesome things, and something I'm proud to be a part of both, and I'm glad you are too.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's all about spreading love and bringing us together, and it shouldn't be no splitting up the fan bases. This side supports this. This side supports this.
And I saw some pettiness on Twitter, and I just feel like, well, we are a family, we are united, and we are both are within. I mean, that's like saying Jeff and I's show, like we do it for the fans, by the fans, and it's, it's one intricate piece of the big puzzle, which I think is fantastic. And I don't know where Jeff went. There you are.
There you go.
On us. But so anyway, since Jeff is frozen, I'm just gonna kind of take this moment to kind of mention that our show tonight is sponsored by All Panthers. All Panthers is a Sports Illustrated channel, and it features the latest news, highlights, draft analysis, draft, free agency, and coverage of the Carolina Panthers. So, I mean, you could visit them going to si.com and /NFL/Panthers. So once Jeff gets unfrozen, I'm sure he'll flash that across the screen. But they are really an excellent source of information.
So let me ask you, Aaron, depending on how long JC Horn is out, would you give Richard Sherman a look right now?
Honestly, like I told y'all before we started the show, I'd rather be over prepared than unprepared. So I'd rather give him a look to see what he got and see how he could contribute to this team. Because I know a lot of people are excited for Boye, that we got him and that we prepared. But I know some people also who just like me who rather have more than enough help rather than having no help at all like we had last year. So I would definitely give him a look.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See what his price tag is. I mean, even at, 33? He's still healthy, and he's still playing played his best football the last couple of years. He returned to form.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Definitely agree.
I have to ask, are there any lucky shirts or socks, or I mean, every fan kind of has their own little ritual for what you feel like helps. Do you have any those rituals that you've done this season, that you've done in past seasons, that you feel like could really keep this streak alive?
Well, my luckiness is just really wearing some sort of Panthers gear or anything that has Panthers colors. Laugh at it or not, I actually had some underwear that's got some Panthers colors on it. Okay. And any game day, I make sure I put that under my shorts or my pants, whatever I'm wearing, and I obviously rep some Panthers gear, whatever it could be. Whether it's y'all gear, as you see right here, got his lovely shirt on. Whether it's some Golden Riot, some Hype Man Lucci, got it all.
Well, Brittany reps her Sam Mills jersey for the games.
Yeah, I remember that.
I wear that to all the home games that I attend. That's my thing. So until we get then I might switch it up, but hopefully it just keeps going. But that's a special jersey to me because he's what started it all for me.
Right.
Have you attended many away games?
I've actually never attended an away game before. Never.
Is there a specific stadium you want to visit?
I would say it would have been probably AT&T Stadium, where the next game is at. Mainly because everybody said that's the best stadium because a big old video board in the middle, and because it's Jerry's World. Oh yeah, that's the best.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, a lot of people. I mean, honestly, I feel like that's why the richest football team right now is because of that stadium and all the work that they done. But you see Tapper out there, he making us do that work too. He doing the stadium out at Rock Hill. he doing everything that we can to make this fan base and make this team be nationally known as much as we can.
Yeah, I mean, Tepper's really doing a lot of work, and he's even getting the state of South Carolina involved with
the new facility in Rock Hill, which I think is fantastic because I mean, one of the things that I always loved about the Carolina Panthers was the 2 states, 1 team, and that I love being a South Carolinian, that is super. I love the fact that the team is as active down in the state of South Carolina as it is, although they technically play in Charlotte, they do stuff in South Carolina, which is awesome. So which brings me to my next question. What is your craziest fan moment? Like, what was the craziest moment for you as a fan, like that you remember? Could be a game that you had gone to, could be a situation you've been in. Like, describe your craziest fan moment.
Honestly, that craziest fan moment was most recently meeting Burns at the tailgate.
Yes.
The funny part is, at the beginning of that day, because they close off South Mint Street, and players got to get to the parking lot. I believe I seen DJ that day riding past that street.
Really?
Because we was out at the street on South Mint trying to tell people to come to the tailgate. And I remember that morning looking at DJ's Instagram story, and I seen a Lamborghini Urus dashboard with a music on there. Charles Jenkins, Awesome, a gospel song in case y'all don't know. And I seen a Lamborghini Urus coming by. The windows was barely down, but you could see somebody's in there, but you can't quite see who it is.
Oh.
But it almost looked like it was DJ because I know he drives a Lamborghini Urus. And I believe I seen Davion Nixon that day too, driving past.
My goodness.
So it's like I seen a couple players and seeing Burns after that and seeing him up so close. Like I never would have thought I would have got that close.
So what is your prized Panthers memorabilia?
Ooh, I was ready to bring this out for y'all. Ready to bring, and that's actually 2 of them. It was actually 2 of them. So the first thing I got will be this DJ Moore signed helmet. Ooh. Now you can't quite see it because it's bubble wrap, but this is when he used to wear the number 12, and his DJ Moore number 12 signed all black Panthers out helmet. It's in bubble wrap because I want to make sure I got one of them box cover frames to put it in, so no dust gets on it. None of that.
Absolutely.
And the next thing I got, and if you know me on Twitter, you've seen this a lot. It's the game worn authentic Dante Jackson jersey that I got. This right here, a lot of people call me crazy for buying this because it was worth $900, but I don't care.
Yeah, that's $900 well spent, dude.
Damn, man. How about that?
Like, I got the grass stains on it. It comes with this thing right here that shows you that it's clearly authentic. And a lot of people call me crazy for spending that much money, but as you see, like, that's my guy. I'm gonna spend my money on my guy.
Is Dante your favorite player?
See, it's actually pretty. It's actually like a tie between them because I love both of them. Like, if I could pick both, like one from offense and defense, those would be my favorite. Like, I can't really pick one. Like, it'll be tough for me to pick one. And I know people ask me a lot because everybody in the Panthers family know I root for both of them guys, and I root for them hard. Like, I drew some pictures for DJ and DJ and put them on Twitter. DJ and his mother liked them.
Wow.
Most recently, Cookie really liked.
Oh, Cookie Ridley's so sweet.
She liked a couple of my tweets recently. I never even tagged her in it. I was just talking about DJ, showing my fandom for him. Dante. Like, don't y'all remember when the Panthers on Twitter had the substitute tweeter for the day?
Yes.
Yeah. Dante Jackson was one of the substitute tweeters. A lot of people was tagging me. And the funny part is I was at work. I kind of lied to them and told them I had to go to the bathroom. That I was a cashier in my morning job. I went to the bathroom. I started tweeting everything at the Panthers and at Dante at the same time. And I used to have that picture when I was holding up the jersey as my pinned tweet. And DJ actually went on there as a Panthers page and quoted the tweet and said, "I'm glad you like it, brother, and I'm glad you got it, and you always showing love." And I remember that to this day. I'll never forget it.
DJ had a big game last night.
Oh yeah, you know I was hyped. I tweeted it out. My boy, dog. I had him on my fantasy team too. He got me 20 points. I was happy. I was disappointed he didn't have that touchdown, but it's all good. He got me 126 yards. He was basically the top wide receiver out that night.
Yeah, him and Sam seem like they're connecting.
Yeah,
I love that. I'm loving that connection coming. I love it.
Good. So speaking of which, I mean, obviously we're 3-0. This kind of goes without saying, but what do you think what do you think of our team? Like, how far do you think we can go? And, where do you think we are, where do you think we need work? Where do you think we're doing well? Let's hear your thoughts. How do you think we're doing so far?
I think we're doing phenomenal. Well, honestly, just like last year, beating people's expectations. Because I don't care what nobody say. As you see, with more winning comes these more haters and making excuses like, "Oh, y'all didn't play nobody. Oh, they were injured. Oh, that was a rookie quarterback. That was a third stringer." Like, at the end of the day, we did our job. We won. We did our job. Like, what else you want us to do? But I feel like we're on the roll and we beating the expectations because a lot of people thought we was gonna go down bad because Sam Darnold being our quarterback, that's like the main thing. Everybody says that the defense is super young and we really don't have anything. Like, I feel like we're doing great. And in my belief, in my opinion, because this is my Carolina Panther fandom coming out, I believe that we have a legitimate shot for being a playoff team. Obviously, with a couple of injuries, and I'm very sad that happened to Christian, Justin Burris, and JC. But like even before the injuries, I felt pretty confident.
In a way, I mean, as nobody ever wants to see on any side of the field, I always
of course not.
Player is injured, but I think the real teams that you see consistently in the playoffs year in, year out that make it as far as the biggest game of all, the biggest stage of all, the Super Bowl, they're teams with that mentality. Like they're like a multi-headed monster. So if one person goes down, somebody else steps up. And I think that this is giving the Panthers an opportunity to really show, okay, next man up. We can be this team that we're not just what was it that who was it that said that I'm like blanking right now. Holy cow. But we're not the Carolina Christian McCaffreys. I believe it was
Cam Irving said that.
Cam Irving said that. We're not the Carolina Christian McCaffreys, which I think when a lot of people hear Carolina, they think, oh, Christian McCaffrey. He's great. And I think that it's a great mentality that Rule is building that, hey, it's not just about Christian, and Christian doesn't want it just to be about Christian. It's about everyone. And I think that as much as it really, pardon my French, sucks that we were dealt a bad blow with injuries last night, but it's a good it from that misfortune comes opportunities for guys who otherwise wouldn't get a shot. Like, I mean, look at what we saw Chuba come into his own as the game went on and really find his stride just by playing, not by taking one or two snaps between to give Christian McCaffrey. Like, his consistency, I feel like him consistently playing has brought out the best in him. So sometimes when one man goes down, another man can rise up and take up that mantle and have it, be their opportunity.
Exactly.
Yeah. As far as the need for improvements, I think the Panthers' offensive line still got a few kinks to work out.
Everybody knows that. If you smart,
we had O-line
like that one fan on Twitter that everybody been going after today, the Carolina Panthers' offensive line needs some work.
Yeah, even Moton was allowing some pressures, which is a little out of character.
Exactly. Everybody want to excuse him because he's a best offensive lineman that we got and he got paid. So yeah, let's just leave Taylor Moton out. Let's never talk about him. And that's another thing too. Like, a lot of people get on people about being a fan. Yeah. I never try to control anybody how to be a fan. I mean, obviously you got the fans that want to be all realistic and some people call it negative. I mean, I don't call it negative. And then you got people like me who are optimistic about everything. But I would tell the truth. But I'm always optimistic and believe we can win. And
yeah.
Now, I think the best thing is if the line's struggling, is you got Arnold, you got Tommy Tremble.
Yep.
You can throw blocks and, you know, like not even if they're going to block the whole time, but just chip the guy and then go out for the pass because it'll at least slow him down.
Yeah.
I agree.
We talked about that last night during the game. I mean, but I feel like the O-line is definitely something that the Panthers have struggled with at times. Greatly.
Oh, yeah. I remember you tweeting that out. They just letting it keep going on and on and on. Trust me, that's the main thing I've been telling people this year is that it don't matter who we would have drafted. Like, obviously, we have one, but if we would have drafted Fields or drafted whoever, Panay Sewell if he dropped, or
Slater.
the guy from Northwestern out in LA.
Rashawn Slater.
Yeah, Rashawn Slater. It don't matter who we would have drafted. They would have still been complaining about the defensive back, offensive line, quarterback. As you see, people were still complaining no matter what. So I say just go with the flow. Let's see what happens. You can obviously display what you're upset about. Because I know there's going to be fans out there that be like, well,
I'm still laughing at the people that draft a quarterback because, you know, Sam's balling. I mean, he's off to a better start than all
you see how bad the offensive line is going, but you see how great the team is performing. That's why I have so much faith in it.
Yeah. I mean, one of the best things about growing up in an unfortunate circumstance of being raised by Jets fans, you know, in a Jets home was a lot of the players we got, like Robbie Anderson and Sam Darnold. Like, I got to see them play on local TV because, unfortunately, like, you know, obviously I had DirecTV. That's what kept me, you know, not missing any Panthers games. But, you know, a lot of the time it was whatever was local and on. And I saw a lot of those games. And, you know, when people were like, you know, I'll admit the gut punch of hearing we traded for Darnold, I was a little, because I've seen him play. But then I took a step back and the football side of my brain, which is what I like to think of, you know, obviously I'm a fan first and foremost, but I always like to try to figure out, okay, well, that makes sense why they did that. You know, Sam's talent, his accuracy was all there. He was running for his life with the Jets. He's got more protection with our offensive line right now than with the Jets. And he had Adam Gase, who is like, you know, I'm surprised. I think I heard he's like coaching high school football. I'm shocked even
he is.
He is like the quarterback, like ruiner. So, you know, I you know, once, you know, the football side of my brain took over, you know, I was like, you know, and I tweeted out, give the kid a chance.
Right.
Give it a chance. And I said it, you know, my brother said it. He's like, listen, if we could have kept Darnold, I would have wanted to keep him. I loved him. He's the best human being like in the world, and he's a baller. And we're seeing him, and we're seeing him grow in confidence. We're seeing him being coached to his potential. And I feel like the sky is the limit for, you know, not Sunny D, it's Sammy D, you know, Sammy D and level up. I think
I agree
for him.
They keep trying to bait him with the Jets because they
my gosh, how
interview.
sad is that?
Yep.
You know, and it's like you know, you could tell like he won't badmouth them, but at the same time, you could tell just how excited he is to be here and to be with our fans. And the fact that he really chooses now, like I feel like, you know, he was traded obviously, but like I feel like he would have chose to be here anyway. Like he was so amazed by the turnout. Shout out to the Roaring Riot who went out to Houston and really, I mean, I heard the
I heard the Keep Pounding chant in the background.
Oh my gosh, how amazing was that? And you could tell he was just lighting up with the attention and the love. I mean, not many people know this unless you're from New York, but the New York, you know, or New Jersey, but the New York media is brutal. They are brutal. So I think
you hear about it all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
well, they moved on to Daniel Jones now. Darnold's gone to another.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're picking on poor Daniel Jones, who's actually grew up a Panther fan. Interestingly enough, he's
the Duke guy.
Yeah. So, are there any shout outs that you'd like to give?
Oh yeah, definitely want to give a shout out to my guy 704. Rest in peace to him. And we used to have a show, Never Scared Sportcast, that we used to do all the time. Me, Twan, him, and Ray Pabone. And wish my guy 704, he passed away about like a month and a half ago. And right before the season started, he said that he couldn't really see this team coming together right now the way we doing it. But if it wasn't for him, wouldn't be knowing how to have a good time with y'all on the show like this. And I also want to shout out my Twitter family out there, because without y'all, I don't know how popular I would be right now. And honestly, y'all will bring me.
I think you speak for yourself. You just have a really great energy, and I love people that have energy like you that bring such positivity. And I love your optimism in your tweets. I love how you look at the glass as half full, which I really think is a good way. It's a good way to go through life, and I think that a lot of people struggle with that. I have days where I struggle with that, but you just seem really upbeat for like majority of the time. So I think that that's such a wonderful thing, and that's such a blessing to the fan base as well, because I feel like it's always good to have people like you who make a big difference in the way our fan base is seen. For a long time, Carolina had a reputation of being a wine and cheese fan base, and I feel like people like you help again to change that culture and to change what people think when they see Carolina fans. So, thank you for that. Thank you for your contribution.
Of course, like I said, like it's a part of me to be positive and upbringing and outgoing and spreading love and sharing love. That's just a part of me. Like I really don't like negativity, because I feel like when you think negative, more negative things tend to happen. And I actually had a couple people who tweet out to me, like once I told everybody I'm a season ticket owner, PSL owner, they was like, change the culture and things like that. And I'm glad you're a part of it. You need to help to get some other fans in the stadium. And like I tell people the same thing. Like if you out there in Twitter in the family, you know about it's Def Sierra, big Jeremy Chin fan. If you know about her, like big girl out there. Like I love her. That's family. Like with her, she was just tweeted out recently that she was thinking about moving down here to the Charlotte, North Carolina area. And I told her just last year I was thinking about the same thing.
Yeah.
And like that's why it means so much to me to tweet out the videos of me at the stadium sharing that I'm there. It's not to brag or anything. It's just to show like, yeah, you can make it in too. And it's a part of your dream. Like I'm really living part of my dream life, being a season ticket holder for these Panthers.
That's how I feel. Now. I mean, I feel like even just being 28 minutes from the stadium, I didn't have that growing up. And I even tweeted something along the lines of, I think I have a different appreciation for like, the entire fandom and all aspects of it, all clubs and all organizations and all, because I feel like Draco's trying to push me off the stage. But I also feel like, I didn't grow up having that around me. I grew up being, people, it's funny because Tom's friends always like, wow, your wife like really knows football. I'm impressed. I can't even get my wife to sit down and watch a game. I'm like, well, when you grow up with Eagles fans and Giants fans and occasionally Jets fans, because like back in 2008 when they made the playoffs, they'll talk their ish, but then they'll sit down again when they're not relevant. But I feel like for me not having that, and then like I've wanted to live in South Carolina since I was a 6-year-old girl. I've wanted to move down here, and then I met him out of high school. So, I stayed, and it was always, okay, well, we have family here. Okay. Well, we're, I was always in a few years. And then, the pandemic, we were going to actually move down last year. Then the pandemic happened and we couldn't get down. We couldn't see anything, but it really worked out for the best because I'm living in my dream home, in my dream city, and I'm close to a team that I've literally been in love with since I was a 6-year-old girl. So, I mean, for me, I think I appreciate what everybody brings, and I feel like I appreciate the culture so much more because I didn't have people who supported the same team as me. I didn't grow up with it so accessible to me. And I think people like you as well, you can empathize with that because, obviously I'm sure you grew up all, seeing all Ravens stuff everywhere. You go to a Target now and you can find, you could find anything, like Panthers, but like, I never had that experience. To me, that part of it, I think will never grow old. And I think that people like you and I have a special appreciation for the fandom because we didn't have it.
Right. Like for me, I didn't have no Panther. I didn't have no friends, no parents, parents, nobody who was a season ticket holder or really that close with the team. Like, yeah, my grandmothers were great Ravens fans, and my father was a great Steelers fan, but like they never like really went to a lot of games or whatnot. And obviously that's because of money wise and stuff growing up like that. But like that's why it was such a huge honor for me to do this and become a season ticket holder, because like I had to do a lot of this stuff myself for the first time. Nobody was there to give me any advice, show me the ropes, show me how things were. None of that. Like I even took my father to his first Steelers game a couple years ago at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, and I was just really happy for him to really get to enjoy that moment and see his team in person. Even though they lost, he had a great time, and that was the whole deal about it.
Nice. So let me ask you. So I always ask this so our viewers can give it a look. Any charities you're involved with or causes that are near and dear to you?
I'm not in nothing right now, but I am pretty big in any children with all that deals with autistic problems or epileptic problems. Because I used to have epilepsy, nobody really knows about.
When I
I used to have that.
Yeah.
Like I used to not be able to watch anything with a lot of blood in there, a lot of action type of stuff, a lot of stuff with a lot of lights going on.
Yeah.
Because instead of being focused on the actual movie or show what I was watching, I'll be so focused on the lights that you call my name, I'll take a long blink, and then my head would just start hurting really bad. And I would have to quickly lay down because it would just feel like I want to rip my head off. So I'm involved in that. I'm involved in anything where like children can accomplish their dreams because it's pretty big for me. Back at home in Baltimore, Maryland, shout out to Elijah Cummings. He used to be a congressman back home in that area. He passed away a couple years ago. But because of that, man, in my junior year in high school, I was able to go out to Israel for free for a whole month and got to take in that culture. And everybody knows how much that area in Europe and the countries, they be going through wars here and out. And the class right before mine didn't actually get to go that year. So they came with us. So our group was like big, like of 20 to 30 people.
Wow.
And it was really good to experience something like that outside of our own country and got to see how happy they was. Because a couple years ago, I used to be a shy guy. I used to not have the confidence that I do right now. I wouldn't have been talking no ish out there to any of them fans, them Jets fans and Saints fans that I seen. I wouldn't have talked no trash. I'd have sat right there in my seat, didn't say nothing, didn't do anything. So thanks to that kind of changed who I am and made me take a different look into this world. So those are some things that I'm really big in.
Oh, that's phenomenal. I know Lucci says that his deals with autism awareness. It's Hype for Life. So
yeah.
Hype for Life, definitely.
Shout out to Hype for Life.
Yes, shout out to Hype for Life. So is there anything else that you want to plug? Obviously, at Aaron Chase Jr. is where people would find you on Twitter. Are there any other social media accounts that you want to share out there that people can find you?
Honestly, no, because honestly, Twitter is where I be talking everything with the team, and that's honestly how I met majority of the fan base anyway. It's from Twitter. We had this quote on there, people tweeting about the team as things going on. People tweet every day about the team. I'm like, this is where I can go to meet some Panthers fans and just have fun talking about the team. And Instagram, that's where you'll see some pictures of me posting of the me going to the stadium, the games, anything that has to do with the team. But Twitter and Instagram, that's the main thing. And it's just like how my name is down there, Aaron Chase Jr., exactly how you see it.
Awesome. Well, Aaron, I just, I see you're wearing our merch, which is
of
awesome.
Course.
Could just model it up for us.
Of course. I had to wear this for y'all. It's a Terrence Marshall Jr. shirt, man. I had to get it. I ain't had no merch. I ain't had no merch for him.
You merched up, son. Merched up.
This guy gonna be a star. Plus, I had to support y'all for the show. Definitely.
That is amazing.
And I had to support that.
On behalf of Jeff, Tom, and Cowboy Joe, who's not with us right now.
Definitely.
He had other obligations. But so I just want to say, you can get our merch. The link, I believe Jeff will post the Etsy link on Twitter. You know, that's kind of like my little tagline, merch up, son. Merch up. So I just want to thank you so much again for joining us, for, you know, taking time out of your Friday night and chatting with us. I mean, you and I got to have you over one day, you know, for an away game.
Definitely.
I would love to sit down, have you over, you know, for dinner, watch a game together. I mean, you're just, like I said, you're my kind of people. I love just the type of people that bring the energy, that bring the house. And I mean, Tom's so chill. Like, we'll both be on at the TV and he'll just be like, okay. You know?
Yeah, I'm generally a chill guy, laid back guy. But like when it comes to my team, you're gonna feel the energy and you're gonna hear it.
Hey,
Definitely.
we've already warned our neighbors. I say if you hear yelling, there's nothing wrong. It's
Carolina. I introduced myself to my neighbors, so my across the street neighbors, you know, really sweet. And that's a big difference between, like, you know, where I'm from up north to down here. You know, everyone's just so nice and everyone's so welcoming. They want to know all about you. And, you know, I said, I just want to give you a heads up. I am a die never Carolina Panthers fan. And you may hear screaming and yelling from my television, like from, you know, I swear it's not a domestic dispute. It's not, everything is fine. I'm likely just screaming at Matt Ryan's face or telling Sean Payton where to go and where to stick it. You know, it's just, you know, for the game. And they're like, oh no, we understand. We're Panthers fans too. And I was like,
oh, look at that. Perfect match.
Well, I do, you know, not across the street, but next door to them, that dude's a Falcons fan, but he don't come out his house. So like we all right. I already set the tone, you know, like I hung my big Panther flag, so like knows what's up, you know. And then my next door neighbors are Panthers fans too, so like between my neighbors and my next door neighbors, they're like, yeah, no, that's awesome, you got that flag. I'm like, well, I had to let him know how I do here, you know, like but he doesn't, he kind of keeps to himself. He's really cool, but you know. But anyway, again, thank you for coming on.
Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all.
If you haven't, definitely check out you know, Sports Illustrated, Panthers Sports Illustrated. You can find them by going to si.com/NFL/Panthers, and you'll find some great and awesome information. Aaron, it's always a pleasure, and
definitely glad I got to come on.
We'll
didn't know I was popular, but apparently y'all think I'm popular enough in the fan base.
Oh, you are always welcome on the show, my man.
I appreciate it.
Christian McCaffrey in the open field, inside the 30, inside the 20. McCaffrey